Welcome to Ending Coverage in Wireless Land. We're going to be covering some very important concepts. First of all, the fact that coverage is still important. We can't do away with it just because capacity is needed. We still need coverage where we need coverage. Secondly, coverage is not simple, and we'll talk about this as well. It's important to understand that coverage is the foundation of capacity. You certainly cannot have capacity in a given area if you don't have coverage in that area. And, of course, coverage is technical, so we'll go into several of the technical aspects related to coverage today. We also have to make sure that we have proper roaming coverage. So this is a very oversimplified example because we don't see ovals or circles as our coverage patterns from our actual APs in most environments, but it illustrates the concept. Notice when this device roams from BSS ID 5F to BSS ID 5C from left to right, it's going to go through a space where there is no coverage according to our needs. Now maybe that space still has coverage by the AP, but it's at a data rate that is too low for the applications we're going to be using. The point is that I don't have the coverage that I need in the path of roaming. So this is a simplified example. In the real world, this is your facility, this is a floor plan, and you're making sure that in the path of roaming, the proper signal coverage is there. Here's an example of good coverage. So now, obviously, our coverage patterns do cover the path of roaming. And again, that's a true physical path through your facility that the client may move. Now, roaming design is better performed based on visible APs at minimum data rates in many cases. So that is to say, when we use our site survey software and we're looking at the coverage produced by our APs, what we want to see in particularly a post-validation survey, but even in the pre-design phase, what we want to see is the coverage such that no matter where we put our mouse in that application, it's telling us, here are the APs I can see from here, and it's always seeing 2 or more APs. That's the ideal. Now that's harder to do in 2.4 gigahertz than it is in 5 gigahertz because you have fewer channels, but that's the basic goal of roaming coverage, to have 2 or more APs visible at accepted data rates at all times.